Charmaine, and my guest today has appeared in feature films like 8 Mile, Captain America, The Winter's Tale, and Hurt Locker. And he's here today to talk about his new film, Black or White, starring Kevin Costner and Octavia Spencer. Help me welcome none other than Mr. Anthony Mackie. Welcome.
What's up? What's up, Fat Cow in the building?
I know that's right. I'm so glad to have you on the show. I follow your work, absolutely love you. And as I call you a BMW, a black man working in this industry. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I try to do my best. I try to keep throwing punches.
And now a lot of people don't know that you are actually a trained actor. You don't just act, but you are trained. You attended Juilliard. And I wanted to know, why did you have a desire to even study acting? Because some people, they just want to move to Hollywood and, become a celebrity. But you studied this craft. What was it about acting that made you want to, study it?
Well, I was a kid who had a lot of trouble. I wasn't a bad kid. I was just inquisitive. And one of the reasons I'm successful today is because every step of the way I had an adult in my life to point me in the right direction. And acting was one of those things that I just fell in love with. I love the opportunity to live other people's lives in different genres and look at the world through different people's perspectives.
Okay. So is that the thing that really intrigued you about acting? Because you can become somebody that you may not have ever become, and it allows you to walk in those footsteps for a brief moment?
It did. I mean, I know I have, I in no way, shape, or form am I smart enough to be a doctor, but I could definitely play one in a movie.
See, that's what I loved about acting when I was growing up. I could be somebody else. You know what I mean? Just for the moment. Right. Don't have to go after that career, but I could be that. So in this industry, who do you admire as actors in your craft?
I really admire Forrest Whitaker. I feel like the level of work that he's been able to present over the scope of his career is amazing. Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, one of the big influences on my career, when I saw Lawrence Fishburne on Broadway, he did a one-man show about Thurgood Marshall. And I was so affected by this show. I was so moved that I got with a youth organization and bussed up 50 little girls from Baltimore once a week to see this show. Because I feel like, you can't take away the tangible. To be able to sit there and see an actual person say actual words in an actual theater, there's something magical about that. And that's why I wanted to study and be a trained actor. Because, when we used to go to the movies, they used to pull the curtains back, and it was an experience, and they don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. You are so right. And we were talking about you studying and becoming someone else. Of course, 8 Mile is one of my favorite movies because my favorite song is Lose Yourself. Now, was that one of those opportunities you got a chance to be a rapper but may not necessarily be a rapper?
A lot of people don't know this about 8 Mile. That was one of my first auditions. And when I auditioned, the character that I played, Papa Doc, was actually in like four or five scenes, and he had about 6 lines in the movie. I auditioned for Mackie Pfeiffer's part. Mm. And the director called me and said, we're going to go with Mackie for this role, so I hope that you could look at this other role. And I was just so excited about the idea of doing a role for the director that I didn't care how big it was. So I was only supposed to be there for a week, and that week turned into 3 months.
Wow, that's a blessing.
So, yeah, it was that thing where I was just looking for a job, and it turned into a career sparker.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. And we want to talk about your new movie, Black or White, starring Kevin Costner and Octavia Spencer. Tell us about the movie and the character that you play.
I play Octavia Spencer's brother. His name is Jeremiah. He's a young hotshot lawyer, and basically his job is to procure the custody of the granddaughter from Kevin Costner for Octavia Spencer.
So you got a rough job to play because you got this man who loves his granddaughter, and it's your job to get that granddaughter taken away to his grandmother.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I have to come in on my black horse and save the day.
Wow. So you playing this role, how different was this role from all the other roles that you've played, from Hurt Locker, of course, and 8 Mile? How was this role for you?
It was extremely difficult because there's a level of subtlety, and to play a lawyer, you really have to let, it's like fishing. You don't set the hook, you let the fish set the hook. So, you have to let Kevin Costner and everyone you're fighting against, you have to let them, coax them into saying what you want them to say. It's like being an interviewer. You want the dirt, but you have to allow the person you're interviewing to say it.
Mm-hmm. So true. Now, what would audiences take away from watching this film?
The great thing about this movie is the reason I wanted to do it so badly is because there's no right or wrong. Like, there's no evil person, there's no good person. Everyone is fighting for the future of this little girl, and that's what I think we miss when we're talking about race. We shouldn't put our shortcomings and our stupidities on our children. We should teach our children to love and appreciate people for who they are, not what they are. Mm-hmm. And I think in this movie, you have a black grandparent and a white grandparent who aren't fighting because of the race of the other grandparent. They're fighting because they think they can provide the best future for this child. Mm. And when the lawyers bring up race, the grandparents say, you know what? They take a step back and they say, this isn't right.
Wow. And that is so true because, when you think of black or white, and it's hard, I know, for children who are both mixed because, if they have a parent that's one's black and one is white, they still love their parents regardless of what they are. And it is so true. That's why my mother said she really wanted to see this movie to see how it was going to play out when you have a white grandparent and a black grandparent. It's not about winning because in the end, a child can lose if you're fighting over them, especially if they love the both of you. There's really not,
exactly.
It's really not a main winner. Go ahead.
That's what's so important. I feel like this movie, it holds no punches. You have a young black man who has a drug abuse problem. You have an older white man who has an alcoholism problem. No one is safe. Everyone is flawed. And I think that's what we always like to point the finger at someone else with social media and talk about how broken they are, how wrong they are, but no one wants to look at themselves. And I think you get to see how flawed these characters are in this movie and how it pertains to this little girl and helping her throughout the course of her life.
Wow, that was really good. Anthony, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to remind the audience to make sure that you go and see Black or White in theaters right now. Tonight is a good night to go see it. Make it a date night or family night. Anthony, I look forward to having you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I look forward to having you back on the show.
Definitely. Go see Black or White, Sack Town.
Amen to that. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Lady Charmaine Live.